My brother's daughter texted me her graduation wish list. A new car, a $4,000 trip, and a designer bag. I replied, "No," she snapped, "then don't come." So I didn't. 2 hours into the party, everything fell apart, and the family group chat exploded. On a random Thursday night I got a text from my niece, and it straight up made my jaw drop. It wasn't a greeting. It wasn't a "thank you" or "hope you're coming to my graduation." It was a PDF attachment with the message, "Hey Aunt Mandy. I made a little wish list for graduation, smiley face. Can you let me know which one you'll get so I can tell Mom and Dad not to get the same?" I opened the file. 3 things. A brand new white Jeep Wrangler. A $4,000 trip to Tulum with her 2 best friends. A Louis Vuitton bag, and not a small one either. The never full gym. She'd even included links, prices, and priority ranking with little stars next to them. Like it was some kind of corporate gift guide. I wish I was making this up. I stared at my phone like it had personally insulted me. Not a hint of humility. No, I know this is a lot, or don't feel pressured. Just a straight-up demand wrapped in a smiley face. So I replied, "Oh, that was it." She responded less than 5 minutes later. "Then don't come." No explanation. No attempt to smooth it over. Just that. And you know what? I didn't. I didn't go to the graduation. I didn't RSVP, didn't call, didn't play the role they've all expected me to play for the last decade. But Haley forgot something. Or maybe she never realized it to begin with. She forgot who paid for everything. I wasn't just her aunt. I was her silent benefactor. The dress she picked out last month? Boutique in Westwood. She cried happy tears when she tried it on. Guess whose card the store had on file? The professional makeup and hairstyling appointment she had for graduation morning? I booked those. The shoes. The jewelry. The limo service for after the ceremony. Dinner reservation for 12 at that overpriced steakhouse. All me. And most importantly, the final tuition payment to her dream college? Yeah. That was scheduled to go through Friday morning. I didn't make a scene. I didn't announce anything in the family group chat. I just picked up the phone, called each vendor, and started pulling the plugs. One by one. The boutique was understanding. I'd only left a deposit, so the dress was held, not fully paid. The salon was annoyed, but I reminded them it was under my name and they couldn't argue with that. The limo company? Gone. Dinner reservation? Cancelled. I did it all quietly. No drama. No warnings. Saturday morning, the day of her graduation, my phone started blowing up around 9:15 a.m. First it was Todd. Then his wife. Then Haley herself. Apparently, Haley had shown up at the salon with her iced coffee and Pinterest photos in hand, expecting to be pampered. Only to be told she wasn't on the schedule and hadn't paid. Then came the boutique call. They asked why her aunt had cancelled the dress. The one she told everyone she'd be wearing. Her backup plan. A dress she'd already worn to last year's winter formal. Nothing else fit. By 11 a.m. she was hysterical. By noon, Todd called me from the parking lot of the school, shouting over the phone. But I didn't answer. Not until that night when the photos started going up, and I noticed she wasn't smiling in a single one. She texted me around 10 p.m. Just one line. "I hate you. You're nothing to me anymore." I replied, "As you wish." And then I canceled the tuition payment. By Sunday morning, the family group chat was on fire. It started with Haley posting one of the graduation photos. She was standing stiffly in front of a folding table covered with store-bought cupcakes and plastic decorations. No dress, no limo, no dinner. Just her, in a wrinkled navy blue dress I remembered from 2 Thanksgivings ago, forced to wear her hair in a bun she clearly did herself. Someone, I think it was Aunt Rhonda, commented, "Beautiful girl. Where's the dress you picked out? Thought you had your glam squad coming." That's when Haley cracked. She dropped a message so venomous I had to read it twice. "Ask Mandy. She ruined everything." Then a minute later. "She canceled my makeup. Canceled the limo. Canceled my dinner. She sabotaged my whole graduation because I asked for a gift." Then Todd joined in. "I don't know what your problem is, Mandy. But congratulations. You broke your niece on what was supposed to be the best day of her life." I didn't respond. Not yet. Because while they were melting down in group chat, Todd was privately texting me, begging me to reinstate the tuition payment. He must have finally realized that the university would drop her enrollment if the final balance wasn't covered by Monday morning. His message was desperate. Mandy. Please. If you don't pay it, she loses her spot. They gave her a scholarship, but it's contingent. I can't afford the difference. We already told everyone she's going. Just, don't punish her future. I'll pay you back. I didn't reply. Instead, I screenshotted the message and sent it directly to the group chat with only one sentence. He told me not to come. So I stayed out of it. Silence. For a solid 5 minutes. Then came the flood. Rhonda tried to play mediator. Cousin Jessica asked if Haley had apologized. One of my other sisters said she'd seen the wishlist and that it was unhinged. Someone else posted a meme. Todd lost it. You're all turning on my daughter for one mistake? She's a kid. She was excited. She didn't mean anything by it. Mandy's the adult here and she acted like a damn villain. I replied, you're right. I'm the adult. That's why I stopped financing this delusion that you can treat people like crap and get rewarded for it. Then I left the group chat. I sat on my couch and stared at my phone for a while, half expecting Todd to show up at my door. But he didn't. No one did. What I didn't say, what I haven't said to anyone yet, is that I already got a call from the university. Since I was listed as the payer, they called me first. Haley's enrollment would be revoked by Wednesday if the payment wasn't made. I could fix it with one click. But I won't. Because this wasn't about a bag or a trip. It was about what Haley, and honestly my brother too, think people are for. Tools. Banks. Background characters in their little fantasy of status. And I'm not playing that role anymore. By Monday morning the silence was over. My phone started buzzing again around 8:30. First it was Todd, then his wife, then Haley from a different number. Probably her friend's phone. I didn't answer any of them. I just sat at my kitchen table drinking coffee, watching the notifications stack up like a slow-motion avalanche. Then the email came. Subject line, urgent, tuition payment failure notification. It was from the university. The payment had been officially declined, the grace period was ending, and her enrollment was now pending cancellation. I stared at the message for a long time before closing my laptop. Not 10 minutes later, Todd called again. This time I picked up. He didn't even say hello. He just started yelling, asking what the hell was wrong with me, accusing me of destroying Haley's future over some stupid text. I let him talk. Then I told him what I'd been holding back for a while, that this wasn't about the text or the wishlist or even the graduation. It was about the years of me paying for everything without so much as a thank you. The dance classes, the prom dress, the braces, the summer programs. Every time he forgot to pay me back, I let it go. Every time Haley treated me like a walking credit card, I smiled through it. I said, I just finally stopped. He went quiet for a few seconds. Then he said something that caught me off guard. You've always been jealous of us. I actually laughed. Jealous? Of what? A family that can't afford to buy their daughter a graduation dress without begging their sister for money? A kid who thinks she's owed luxury gifts just for existing? I hung up. That afternoon my mom called. I knew she would. She always does when things go nuclear. She asked me what happened. I told her the truth. Every bit of it. The wish list, the then don't come, the cancellations. She sighed and said, you didn't have to go that far, Mandy. She's just a kid. That's the part that stung. Because she's just a kid, is what everyone's been saying for years. Every time Haley crossed a line, that was the excuse. And every time Todd and his wife let it slide, it became a little more normal. By Tuesday, Haley's acceptance was officially revoked. I know because Todd's wife posted a cryptic status on Facebook about losing faith in people you thought were family. Half the comments were from their friends, saying things like, you'll get through this, and she's still destined for great things. I didn't comment. I didn't defend myself. But then late that night I got a message from Haley. Not angry this time. Just, hello. Asterisk, they told me I can reapply next year. Dad says we'll figure something out. I know you hate me now, but I didn't think it would go this far. Asterisk. For the first time I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But then I thought about that PDF. The arrogance in it, the way she expected me to just pick something expensive and hand it over like she was royalty. And the way she'd written asterisk, then don't come. Sis. She set the terms. I just followed them. Still, as I sat there reading her message, I realized something. It wasn't just about teaching her a lesson. It was about ending the cycle. The one where I'm the safety net for people who never once stopped to think about what it costs me to hold them up. I typed back one last message. Asterisk, I don't hate you. I just finally stopped paying for people who don't value me. Asterisk. Then I blocked her. It's been 2 weeks now. Todd hasn't called. My mom keeps saying time will fix it, but I don't think it will. Something in that family dynamic broke and I'm not sure it's ever going back to what it was. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Because the truth is Haley didn't lose her future. She just lost her shortcut. And I lost a family illusion that probably should have ended a long time ago. By week 3 it wasn't just quiet, it was calculated silence. No more group chat chaos. No more late-night texts. But I started hearing things from the edges. My cousin Jen called me after a church potluck and told me Todd and his wife had been spinning a very different version of the story. According to them, I went crazy over a minor misunderstanding. They were telling people I had promised to pay for the Jeep and then backed out of nowhere. That I was bitter and unpredictable. That I'd intentionally humiliated Haley in front of her friends. It would have been laughable if it wasn't so desperate. They painted me as some unstable aunt with control issues who blew up a graduation over a simple gift request. Never mind the PDF with hyperlinks. Never mind the years of me quietly covering their bills. They left out all the context. The salon appointment she expected, the custom dress she'd bragged about to everyone, the dinner she invited 12 people to. Jen even said Haley was now telling people I promised her the Louis Vuitton bag and then ghosted her the week before graduation. I sat there holding my phone, listening, stunned at how easily they rewrote reality. But I didn't say a word publicly. I didn't post screenshots. I didn't jump into comments or write long, dramatic Facebook statuses. Instead, I made one final phone call. To the university. No, not to undo the payment. That ship had sailed. I called to change the contact information. I asked to have myself removed as an emergency contact, financial backer, and guardian. I told them firmly that I would not be involved in any future applications. They said okay. That was it. That small act, that final door click, felt heavier than I expected. It was like walking away from a role I'd been cast in without agreeing to it. I was always Aunt Mandy, the helper, the one who fixed things when Todd and his wife messed up. I was the one who just has money, like I never worked for it, like it just appeared. But now the phone wasn't ringing. Nobody was knocking on my door. No one was asking for anything. Until Thursday. I came home from work and there was a letter taped to my front door. No stamp, no envelope. Just a piece of notebook paper folded twice. It was from Haley. It said, I was angry. I was stupid. I wanted to look good in front of my friends and I thought asking you for that stuff was normal because you always say yes. I didn't think you'd actually leave. I don't know if this means anything but I'm sorry. And at the bottom in her handwriting. I miss you. I stood there for a long time holding it. I didn't feel triumph. I didn't feel angry anymore. What I felt honestly was tired. Because now I realized, she didn't actually miss me. She missed what I gave. The dress, the dinners, the rescues. And that apology? It wasn't accountability. It was desperation. I didn't respond. I folded the letter and slid it into a drawer in my kitchen. Not to hold on to it, just because I didn't feel like throwing it out yet. I didn't know what came next. But I knew it wasn't going to be the same. It was the following Saturday when I heard the knock. Not the polite kind, the kind that comes with pacing on the porch and someone deciding how mad they're willing to be. I looked through the window and saw Todd. I hadn't seen him in person since before the graduation mess. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept in a few days. His shirt was wrinkled, he wasn't carrying anything, and he didn't look like he came to yell. I opened the door just far enough to hear him say, "Can we talk?" I stepped outside. Didn't invite him in. I wasn't ready for that. He didn't start with an apology. He started with, "She's not doing well." I waited. He told me Haley hadn't been eating much, wasn't talking to her friends, deleted all her social media. She'd started applying to local community colleges but had barely made it through the first application before breaking down. I told him I wasn't surprised. She'd built her whole self-worth on being admired. Take away the spotlight and what's left? He said, "You proved your point." I think that's when I realized how far gone he was. I didn't prove a point. I finally stopped holding together a reality they couldn't afford and refused to admit. I gave more than most people would have, and I was punished for drawing a boundary. I told him, this isn't about revenge. It's about respect. I stopped paying for someone who treated me like garbage. That's when he finally cracked. He said he was scared. That the only reason Haley got into that college was the combination of her art portfolio and my financial backing. That he and his wife had been banking on me continuing to help not just through college but probably after. He actually said, "You make more than us. What's a few thousand to you?" That hit harder than any insult. Because it told me everything I needed to know. That none of them had ever seen me as family. Just as an endless resource with no right to say no. I told him the conversation was over. He begged me not to walk away from Haley's future. I told him the same thing I told her in the text. I'm not walking away from her future. I'm just not paying for it anymore. He stood there a few seconds. Then he said something that almost made me laugh. You know she's going to hate you forever for this. I said, then she'll have to learn what it feels like to hate someone who told her no. He left. No goodbye. I went back inside, poured a glass of wine and sat down in the quiet. I should have felt shaken. But I didn't. It's clean. Like the moment when a long overdue storm finally breaks and the air shifts. I don't know if Haley's ever going to come around. I don't know if Todd and I will talk again. But I do know this, I am finally done being the family backup plan. A month passed. I didn't hear a word from Haley. Not a call, not a text, not a forwarded passive-aggressive meme from her mother. The family group chat stayed quiet, like everyone had walked away from the crash but didn't want to be the first to speak. I didn't leave it again. I just muted it. Then one morning I got a letter in the mail. Actual mail. No return address, but I knew the handwriting the second I saw it. The sharp slanted loops Haley always used when she was trying to be taken seriously. It was 2 pages. She didn't ask for anything. She didn't beg. She wrote about how she spent her first 2 weeks after graduation avoiding people. About how every time she saw one of her classmates post pictures from their summer trips or move-in day at their new schools, she felt sick. She admitted she'd been showing off when she sent the wish list. That she assumed I'd find it funny and sweet. She said she honestly thought it was normal to ask for things like that because no one ever told her it wasn't. She said no one had ever said no to her in a way that actually meant something. Not until I did. She wrote, I didn't understand why you were so cold until I realized you weren't being cold. You were being done. And now I think that's worse. Because you're the first person I've ever met who just stopped showing up for me. I thought you'd always be there and I treated you like you had no choice. She ended the letter with, I don't expect you to forgive me. But I needed you to know I finally see it. I see what I did. And I see what you were actually doing all those years. I sat at the kitchen table for a long time after I finished reading it. Because for the first time in this whole mess, it felt like she finally looked at me like a person. Not a wallet, not a fallback, not a guarantee. Just a person. I didn't respond right away. I didn't even know if I wanted to. I let another 2 weeks pass. Then one Saturday I texted her. Just one line. Thanks for the letter. I hope you keep figuring things out. No heart emoji. No false promises. No offer to help. Just a thread. One last thread. And I think that's where it's going to stay. Not a repaired bridge, not a second chance. Just the smallest opening. Because sometimes the best thing you can give someone isn't money or a dress or a future handed to them. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can give is the moment everything falls apart. So they finally have to figure out how to build something on their own. And Haley,